Good evening, parents, relatives, friends, faculty, administrators, and school board members of the Central Cambria School District. I would like to welcome you to the 2020 Commencement Event for Central Cambria High School. Before we begin, I want to extend a thank you to the senior class officers and student council members who planned this year's commencement event, to graduation advisor Mike Mazzarella, and high school administrative assistant Mindy Rodke for their assistance in preparing for tonight's event, and to the faculty who are serving on the commencement committee or as workers at tonight's event, to the board of school directors and administrators, to Central Cambria alum Wade James and his company Adliv Collective for their videography services, and to the ownership of the Carrolltown Hi-Way Drive-In Theater for the use of their facility. Seniors, at this time, please remove your caps and stand as Ben Young leads us in the invocation.
Our Heavenly Father, as we are gathered here this evening, we ask your blessing on this commencement. We ask you to be with those who are speaking and performing this evening. We thank you for all of the knowledge we've gained and the lessons we have learned through the mistakes we have made. We ask for your safety and protection upon those who will be serving in our armed forces. We ask for your blessing upon those who will be continuing their education and for those who are joining the workforce. We thank you for our teachers, principals, directors, coaches, counselors, staff, friends, and family members who have supported us during these school years, and pray that we would continue to feel their encouragement in this next step of our lives. We ask for your guidance and direction to lead us, Lord, as we begin this new chapter. Amen.
If you are outside of your vehicle, we ask that you rise for the singing of our national anthem, which will be led by Aaron Caplia, Reese Long, Hannah Penrod, and Malin Schoaf.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It is my honor to introduce the class of 2020 Salutatorian Reese Long. Reese is the son of Heath and Candy Long. Reese is the president of the senior class and is also the president of the National Honor Society. He is a National Merit Commended Scholar and has been recognized for receiving perfect scores on the verbal part of the SAT and the English and reading portions of the ACT. Reese has studied Arabic language and culture through the Center for Talented Youth at Johns Hopkins University since 5th grade. At Central Cambria, he has been a member of the school's fall musical for the last 4 years and received 2 Isaac Award nominations for Best Actor in a Lead Role. Reese has also participated in Pennsylvania Music Educators Association competitions and has been awarded All East and All State honors. In statewide forensics competition, he finished 3rd in the state in broadcast news. Reese will be following in the footsteps of his grandfather, Jerry Long, by attending Brown University, where he will major in classics and Middle Eastern studies.
School administration, teachers, parents, and the class of 2020. There's an old Yiddish curse, may you live in interesting times. And boy, do we live in interesting times. I'm starting to think that we might have brought this upon ourselves because, let's be honest, we weren't really the best class. By second grade, it was rumored that we were the worst class in Central Cambria history, and we had also been banned from Valewood Farms by the end of second grade, so that might have been warranted. But we truly lived up to our title when, in 8th grade, we got dodgeball tournaments canceled and got all of our field trips taken away. And as our middle school principal, Mr. Santini, I bet you have fond memories of that day. In fact, Mr. Santini was so concerned with our behavior that he decided to become our principal for the junior and senior year of high school as well, just to keep an eye on us. And I have a feeling that getting our senior trip canceled is his doing, some form of payback. But all joking aside, it is undeniable that this class has left a lasting impact on Central Cambria. I don't think we want this pandemic to define us. Class of 2020, the coronavirus class, but it does. It defines our character. The class of 2020 is the class of adversity, born around 9/11 and graduating in a global health crisis. We are the class of perseverance, of triumph, of overcoming obstacles. And this epidemic might not be what any of us wanted, but it's really a wake-up call. It's a reminder that our time here is fleeting. A reminder to cherish every moment that you have with your friends and family. A reminder that life isn't always fair. It might not be fair or enjoyable that we had half of our senior year taken away, but in it comes a valuable lesson. It teaches us to celebrate the good. This graduation should not be in mourning of the time we lost, but in celebration of the time we had together as the class of 2020. Now is the start of the rest of our lives. College for some, military or workforce for others. The real world is waiting for us, and I'm confident that we are well equipped to handle it. My Arabic teachers used to use a certain phrase when a student would miss class, and it roughly translates to, "Your absence was felt." This is one thing I know for certain about the class of 2020. Our absence will be felt. But more than that, let us continue to be people whose absence is felt long after we are gone. Let your impact be lasting. As we've discovered these last few months, life can be a little unpredictable. So to my fellow graduates of Central Cambria's class of 2020, I wish you all way more than luck. Thank you.
The senior class members of Student Council assisted in planning this year's commencement ceremony. They requested to continue the tradition started by the class of 2019 by giving any member of the senior class the opportunity to submit a speech to be included in the ceremony. From that group, Sarah Evans was chosen as this year's senior speaker. Sarah is the daughter of Jeffrey and Christina Evans. She is a member of the National Honor Society, Student Council, Interact Club, and played softball at CCHS. Extracurricular activities include serving as a AAABA ambassador for the 75th annual AAABA tournament and being a member of the Holy Name Apex Youth Group. Sarah was named the 2019-20 DAR Good Citizen Award recipient earlier in the school year after the CCHS faculty determined her to be the senior who most displayed the qualities of dependability, service, leadership, and patriotism. Sarah will attend St. Francis University in the fall, majoring in chemistry with a concentration in pre-medicine. She then plans on pursuing a medical degree and specialize in general surgery. Please allow me to welcome Ms. Sarah Evans to the podium.
On Thursday, April 9th, the class of 2020 experienced something unlike any class that came before us. We were given the news that we would not return to school for the remainder of our senior year due to the looming worldwide pandemic. Personally, as I heard this, tears began to stream down my face because those last 2 months were supposed to be the best 2 months. I pondered upon all the things that I unknowingly did for the last time. I sat in class with my best friends for the last time without knowing it. I did my last high school chemistry lab without knowing it. I visited Mrs. Christ after lunch for the last time without knowing it. But most of all, I, along with all of my classmates, walked down the halls that were as familiar to us as those of our own homes for the last time without knowing it. While it could have been easy to get caught up in these feelings of sadness, those who know me know that I'm optimistic by nature. This being said, I began to think of all the good memories that came out of our time as Central Cambria Red Devils. And as I began to think, I realized that we have so much more to be thankful for than we do to be sad about. Looking back at our class, I have so many memories that I will hold with me forever. They start with us being deemed the worst class in Central Cambria history back in elementary and middle school. We were rambunctious, loud, energetic, competitive, and overly passionate. At Cambria Elementary, we were forced to return home early from our second grade field trip to Valwood Farms because we couldn't behave correctly. And I'm not sure if any other class has gone there since. In 7th grade, we went to Outdoor Odyssey, where we managed to tip over the canoes, like they had specifically told us not to. In 8th grade, they threatened to take our field trips away because of our irresponsible behavior at a dodgeball tournament. We did end up getting our field trips that year, and let's just say the majority of us will never forget our trip to Dooman's Dam because, in typical class of 2020 fashion, we did what we were told not to, and half the class ended up jumping in the dam. While these moments were not necessarily good, they were what defined us as a class, and now most of us laugh at just how bad we were. And a good laugh is just what we need after these last few months of our senior year. While we were in high school, we learned to behave like respectable young adults, but that did not mean that our fun was over. For me, the majority of my fun was exemplified through the time that I spent in our student section, the pit. I will never forget the crazy themes or the courtside chants that occurred every game that helped boost the energy of our players because they knew we were there for them. I will also never forget celebrating the numerous athletic championship titles that our class participated in. By the way, I do not even have enough fingers to count all of those titles on. The past 4 years, I have seen many incredible friendships bloom among the members of our class. When I think of my best friends from high school, I think of the countless days we spent on the beanbags in the library, the countless donuts we ate during our fundraiser events, and the countless study sessions we had. Each person has their own memories with their own friends, and those memories are part of what defines us as individuals. Our teachers saw our potential, and they pushed us every day to be the best versions of ourselves. They were there to support us through all of our endeavors, and without them, we would not have been able to achieve many of the things we did. For instance, we have not one, but 2 students attending Ivy League universities in the fall. This year, a trade school program made the top 5 schools on the Decision Day map for the first time ever. Our class also has numerous students who have been able to balance their school workload with having at least one job and/or playing at least one sport. But most of all, we have made it through the last few months, learning and adapting to online classes. We are all here today for one of the biggest moments of our lives, and that in itself is a major accomplishment. Our class is full of leaders, achievers, and innovators, partly thanks to the faculty and staff at Central Cambria. They helped to transform us into the young adults we are today. Each one of us has our own personal accomplishments and memories, and those are greater than anything that we possibly lost this year. Those are the things that will never be able to be taken from us. The class of 2020 is different. We are a family. We support each other through everything, whether it be going to see musicals in the fall, sitting and cheering on our sports teams in the pit, having send-offs for all of the many extracurriculars that were heading to the next level of competition, or just being there for each other when we really need it. After today, our class will part ways, but we will forever be connected by these memories that we created together. I ask in the future, you do not remember our class for the things that we missed out on, but instead for the experiences, memories, and history that we did make during our time together. Looking back at our achievements, I think it is all right to say that we transformed from the worst class in Central Cambria history into one of the best. I will forever be proud to say that I am part of the Central Cambria class of 2020.
It is my distinct honor to introduce the class of 2020's Salutatorian. Alex Paul Gibson is the son of Amy and Brian Gibson. Alex served as this year's Student Council President and was the student representative to the school board during his junior year. Alex is an active member of the National Honor Society and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Alex was also active on the speech and debate team, where he advanced to state-level competition his junior year. Throughout high school, he has been a member of both the golf and tennis teams. Alex is an umpire for the Ebensburg Youth Little League and regularly volunteers with his church youth group. During the past 2 summers, he has attended Keystone Boys State, West Point Summer Leadership Experience, and the Pennsylvania Governor's School for the Sciences. He has published research on acid mine drainage and artificial intelligence at Carnegie Mellon University. Alex will be attending the University of Pennsylvania this fall and plans to major in finance at the Wharton School.
The day was Friday, March 13th, 2020. The end of the day quickly approached, and the 2:43 bell came blaring over the school speakers. The sound of excitement flooded the hallways. We rushed to our lockers, grabbed our book bags, and sprinted out the doors. Some of us might have even beaten the buses if we were lucky enough that day. It seemed like a normal Friday, but now we all know that it was quite the opposite. That day in early March was our last day of high school. At first, we felt the same thrill as if the local weather channel just predicted that a nor'easter was heading our way. But soon, the reality hit. This was no snowstorm. We will all miss different aspects of high school life. For some people, it will be performing in our school's annual musical and play. For others, it will be attending Admiral Perry and competing in the Skillless USA competition each year. For many, it will be suiting up in their red and black uniform while excelling in their beloved sports. While someday, in the very distant future, we might miss Mr. McCombie's infamous Greek test, Mr. Wagner's legendary chemistry labs, or everyone's favorite, AR tests, I truly believe we will all miss our dedicated, hardworking teachers who have not only provided us with a premier education, but have shaped our character and have been the cheerleaders of our success. The role I will miss most from my high school days is being a dedicated member of our student fan club, affectionately named The Pit. The Pit represents high school life in a small town, students supporting students and feeling connected to a larger community. I have learned that the sense of unity that exists on the bleachers creates lifelong memories, friendships, and the dynamic Red Devil community that we will always be a part of. Many of us here today have always been loyal members of the Pit, even if that meant forgoing a few hours of studying or sleep. Looking back now, it was worth it every single time for the chance to support our classmates and to be part of something bigger than ourselves. To all of my fellow Red Devil Pit members, inhaling baby powder at football games, dressing up for our crazy themes, losing our voices after close games, and traveling far and wide to support our dear Devils, I thank you and salute you for the memories. Today, I would like to elaborate on 2 particular milestones that mark the beginning of our actual lives here on Earth and the end of our high school careers. In the true spirit of our class song, Life is a Highway, we were born on a road that seemed full of potholes as our country faced the aftermath of the September 11th attacks. And now, as we take the exit ramp of our high school education, we face a perhaps even bumpier, rockier road. However, just as our birth serves as a sign of hope to a country in great mourning, our graduation today symbolizes that life will someday return to normal again. While there may appear to be a massive traffic jam for the next few miles ahead, the class of 2020 has learned to fine-tune our engines, some of us in massively large trucks with even bigger tires. Today is a day of celebration to commemorate our collective achievement as a class and to bring in the next chapter of our lives. The future months will certainly not be easy, but our song reassures us that there is a road outside every darkened door where the blues won't haunt us anymore. It is now our time to ride to the distant shore. As we continue on the highway of life, we must use our experiences and lessons learned over the past 13 years at Central Cambria to fuel our adventures ahead. We must embrace uncertainty with faith that we will go stronger because of our current struggles. We must trust that our experiences here at Central Cambria have prepared us to face any difficulty ahead. And most importantly, we must remember that this small rural town in western Pennsylvania has shaped who we are today, and we must never forget where we came from. Today, as we reflect with pride upon all of our class accomplishments, We must remember that these achievements have only been made possible through the unwavering support of our families. No one has reached this milestone alone. To all of our parents and siblings here tonight, we thank you. These achievements are just the beginning of the impacts our class is yet to make. Sitting among us today are future business leaders, healthcare workers, teachers, engineers, military members, skilled laborers, and so many more future trailblazers. There is no load we can't hold. The roads are rough, this we know. We will be there when the light comes in. Tell the world we are survivors. Life is indeed a highway. In class of 2020, let's enjoy every minute of our ride. Thank you.
Please allow me to introduce Mr. Dennis Simmers, President of the Central Cambria School District Board of School Directors. Mr. Simmers has served our district as a board member for 11 years. He earned a Bachelor and Master of Science degree at IUP. He completed postgraduate work at Penn State University and the Johns Hopkins University. Mr. Simmers has been employed for 26 years at the Culver Power Project as the EHS engineer. It is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Dennis Simmers to the podium.
Greetings, Central Cambria class of 2020. I'm Dennis Simmers, President of the Central Cambria School Board of Directors. On behalf of the board, I would like to congratulate you and your families on achieving this great accomplishment. 13 years of hard work and commitment pay off today with your graduation from Central Cambria. While some may write your history with a COVID-19 asterisk, the board urges you with every fiber of our being not to be defined by that name. The class of 2020's definition is infinitely more than what has transpired in the last 2 months. Those 2 months are a slight fraction of the 117 in-school months you have spent at Central Cambria. Your definition is the people you have met along the way: students, teachers, principals, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and so many more. Your definition includes true friends you've made, loves found, loves lost, all types of victories, and yes, even defeats. We pray that your memories of school will be things like the VOTEC Skills USA competition, nailing that mathematics exam, the first time you sang in front of a group of people, that touchdown, that high school musical, that time you and your friends fill in the blank, and lest we forget, pork chopettes for lunch. Every graduating class is unique. No two are alike. The class of 2020 is no exception. You and your fellow classmates have spent 13 years creating your own unique identity and personality, and we have thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I wish you all of the success and joy that can be had. We are very proud of you. Celebrate safely, come back and visit us from time to time, and God bless you and your families. Thank you.
Serving as Vice President of the class, Cassidy Bezeq has played a key role in organizing fundraisers, events, and activities for the class of 2020. She has earned 16 varsity letters during her time at Central Cambria and is in the top 10 in the class. Cassidy will be attending St. Francis University in the fall. Cassidy will introduce our next speaker, Superintendent Jason Moore.
If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. Martin Luther King, Jr. As we move on to this next chapter of our lives, it is important that we continue to find happiness. For some of us, that means moving across the country, but others will come right back home to continue their happiness. However, happiness is not defined by the success we've had or the places we've been, but rather the hearts we've touched and the drive we have to continue to find ways to better ourselves and keep moving. Mr. Moore and his drive to educate and change the lives of youth did not begin here at Central Cambria. Actually, it started in 1995 following his high school graduation from Greater Johnstown when he attended the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown to receive a Bachelor of Arts in Secondary Education for Social Studies and English. His interest in education continued as he went on to receive a Master of Education from the California University of Pennsylvania. And it remains as he continues his work for Doctor of Education from the Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Mr. Moore did not begin his desire to educate and influence children with his work here at Central Cambria, but instead at Greater Johnstown as an English teacher. After 6 years, his vision drew him to become the principal at Greater Johnstown, before eventually transferring to the curriculum director here at Central Cambria School District 4 years later. Finally, his passion for education of children has led him to his current position as our superintendent at Central Cambria. Now, in spending nearly 20 years in education, you may think that it's easy to become disconnected with your work, the same thing every day. But that has not been the case with Mr. Moore. Rather, he continues to share his happiness with the students and teachers here at Central Cambria. Not only has Mr. Moore supported us in all of our academic endeavors, but he has also been a visible presence at a wide variety of athletic and extracurricular activities to demonstrate his support and Red Devil pride. Mr. Moore led the way as we learned to walk, run, then fly through Zoom and Google Classroom. He helped us navigate through uncharted waters, and he will continue to lead Central Cambria School District to happiness. Now, we welcome him to the stage to give his final address to our class, the class of 2020.
Good evening, families, faculty, administrators, school board, and most importantly, graduates. It has been my honor to serve as your superintendent. While these last few months have certainly been stressful and challenging in a number of ways, it's going to grant you the opportunity to play a large part in how society overcomes and adapts to what has become the new normal. In 1995, the year that I graduated from Johnstown High School, the internet was a relatively new thing. There were 23,500 websites in existence. Today, over 1.5 billion websites exist. Before Columbine and 9/11, safety and security were all things that were taken for granted. Most of you were born just after 9/11, so you have never experienced the ability to arrive at an airport 15 minutes before your flight. You also started kindergarten 2 months after the iPhone was unveiled. The usefulness of payphones and volumes of encyclopedias almost immediately became a thing of the past. While some may look at this rapid change in our society with anxiety and uncertainty, those who are truly successful will view our current times with the excitement and optimism that they deserve. In history classes, I'm sure that you read about the Luddites in the early 19th century in Britain, feared the rapid change caused by the Industrial Revolution, and decided that machinery and technology were evil things and needed to be destroyed because they were challenging their way of life. Clearly, the Luddites were not successful. Change happened, and the people who adapted to that change were the ones who became the most successful. So my advice for you is to embrace change with optimism and live life with a growth mindset. Seek to get better every single day. Failures and minor missteps should be viewed as learning experiences. Defeat is a great motivator. Success should be celebrated, but both failure and successes should be learned from and not dwelled upon. Most of all, be stubbornly persistent. Success rarely comes to those who give up easily. I wish you success, but more importantly, I wish you happiness. I leave you with a poem from Burton Braley, who is an American poet from the Midwest. The title of this poem is 1,000 to 1. There's 1,000 can't-be-doners for the one who says it can, but the whole amount of deeds that count is done by the latter clan. For the can't-be-doners grumble and hamper, oppose, and doubt, while the daring man who says it can proceeds to work it out. There isn't a new invention beneath the shining sun that was ever wrought by the deed or thought of the tribe of can't-be-done. For the can't-be-doners mutter, while the can-be's coal sublime make their notions work till the others smirk. Oh, we knew it all the time. Oh, the can-be's clan is meager, its membership is small, and it's mighty few who see the dreams come true or hear fame's trumpet call. But it's better to be a can-be and labor and dream and die than one who runs with the can't-be-dones who haven't had the pluck to try. Thank you.
Good evening to you all. This next speech will be given by Mr. Robert Nicolishin. Mr. Nick is widely regarded as one of the most kind, accepting, and supportive teachers at Central Cambria. Always there to lend an ear and offer support, he is someone who anyone can go to for advice or when they're in need of a friend. When the time came for us to decide which teacher we as the senior class would like to give a speech, the senior class representatives immediately decided on Mr. Nicolishin. Not only does he care about each and every one of his students, he goes above and beyond in ensuring they are all looked out for. He does not care about trivial labels, name, or status any one student may have. He genuinely looks after each of us as if we were his own. Between teaching, coaching, and his involvement with Interact Club, he has certainly left his mark on the lives of many. Thank you for being our teacher, all the guidance and laughs you have given us, and most importantly, for being there for us all. The class of 2020 appreciates all that you do, and we thank you for all that you have done for us in our years at Central Cambria. Please join me and the class of 2020 in welcoming Mr. Robert Nicolishin. 3 claps on 2, 1, 2.
The past 18 to 19 years have left many footprints in the sands of time. 2001-2002, September 11th, terror attacks on the U.S., gas prices $1.46 a gallon, anthrax scares take over the Postal Service. 2002, U.S. Airways filed for bankruptcy, corporate scandals hit the U.S. economy, chemical warfare attacks on U.S., Israeli-Palestinian conflict escalates. In 2003, U.S. Space Shuttle Columbia crashes. U.S. launches war on Iraq. Saddam Hussein captured by Navy SEALs. SARS, an acute respiratory syndrome, spread to 32 countries. 2004, the bird flu plagues 10 countries. Arguably one of the worst natural disasters, deadly tsunami in Asia. 2005, several train crashes. North Korea announces its possession of nuclear weapons as protection against hostility felt from United States. Several mass public shootings, taking innocent lives. 2006, mine disaster in West Virginia, taking 12 lives. In 2007, the Virginia Tech massacre. Troops continue to be deployed to Iraq. In 2008, U.S. Defense Department employees arrested for espionage, passing information to China. Unemployment soars to 7.3%, highest since 1992. 2009, the Great Recession continues, 800,000 jobs lost. Unemployment hits 9%. Swine flu becomes a public health emergency of international concern. H1N1 vaccination shots given to you in the 2nd grade. 2010, worst years for natural disasters, earthquakes, typhoons, etc. Recession hits an all-time low. Oil rig fires boost the cost of oil. 2011, weather continues to be a destructive force in our economy. 2012, movie theater killings, Boston Marathon bombing. 2013, typhoon in Philippines, total destruction, 13-foot waves, 235-mile-per-hour winds. 2014, Ebola becomes a global health crisis. Rise of brutal new terror group, ISIS. 2015, natural disasters and catastrophic events racked up $92 billion in global economic losses. In 2016, Russian interference with U.S. presidential election. The spread of the Zika virus causes worldwide alarm. In 2017, mass shootings in Las Vegas. In 2018, 34,000 deaths due to influenza. 300 mass shootings in 2018. In 2019, our president of the free world is impeached. Tensions flare in the Persian Gulf. 2020, COVID-19. You lost out on playoff postseason opportunities. No spring theater performance, no prom, senior class trip gone. Memory wall half painted. Memory walk not taken. Senior spring sports assembly canceled. Senior academics award ceremony canceled. Graduation practice, no. Senior cookout, rain delayed. Spring chorus concert, no music. One may ask, why focus on the negative? I want all of you to hold your hands out in front of you. Look at all of your fingers and your palms. You've lived through the hardest of times, survived, and most importantly, still are standing. Some may ask a second time, well, then why focus on all of the negative? I say, why not? You see, it's very easy to float through the good times. It's extremely difficult to confront and engage in chaotic situations. Conflict, controversy, and fear are extremely unpredictable and in most cases ignored. History will continue to display defeat. That's inevitable. Although, through our historical moments, defeat has also proven to mold and establish success. Take this time not to complain and focus on what you have lost, but instead on what you have gained. Reflect on the true heroes of this time period. Take a good hard look at the past several months and realize that you are a better person than what you were before. Recognize the strife that you have been a part of thus far in your life, but praise the people who found a way to help you through these years. There has been sacrifice and suffering from the ones around you that you call family. Relish in the fact that people enjoy what you've become and are very proud of you. Your hands and hearts know turmoil. Because of this, ask yourselves a question. How am I going to move forward and ensure that defeat never holds me down and disables me from what I truly am capable of becoming? Always look back on this time period as one which changed your life for the better forever. Congratulations, class of 2020. The staff at Central Cambria, the teachers, love you very, very much.
Mr. Andrew Peronish has served as assistant principal and acting high school principal at Central Cambria High School since 2014. At this time, Mr. Peronish will recognize our seniors who have attended Admiral Peary Area Vocational Technical School.
In recognition of the importance of training in the skilled trades in fulfilling the needs of America's workforce, our seniors who have completed training at Admiral Peary Area Vocational Technical School are distinguished with a maroon cord. This group is highlighted by 9 students who were selected as Students of the Year in their chosen area. I ask that our Admiral Peary Area Vocational Technical School students please step outside your vehicles, raise your caps, and be recognized at this time.
Dr. Trisha Buren is the Assistant Superintendent of the Central Cambria School District. Dr. Buren has worked as a guidance counselor at Jackson Elementary and the middle school, served as Jackson Elementary principal, high school principal, and curriculum director prior to her role as Assistant Superintendent. Dr. Buren is a proud member of the Central Cambria High School class of 1988 and holds degrees from Penn State University and Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Please welcome Dr. Buren as she acknowledges our honor students.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to speak with you tonight. Students graduating with second honor status must earn a cumulative GPA of 3.25 or higher. These students are distinguished with a white sash. Those seniors graduating with second honor status, please raise your caps. And if you have a family member or a friend in a vehicle, please put your lights off and on and be recognized at this time. Students graduating with honors must achieve a cumulative GPA of 3.75 or higher. These students are distinguished with a gold sash. Those members of the class of 2020 graduating with honors status, please raise your caps. And if you have a friend or a family member in a vehicle, please beep and be recognized at this time. Students accepted as members of the Central Cambria High School National Honor Society exemplify the qualities of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Those members of the National Honor Society, please raise your caps. And again, if you have a family member or a friend in a vehicle, please put the wipers on at this time and be recognized. This has been a crazy year. You all survived and did it with success and dignity and respect. We are so proud of each and every one of you. We wish you the very best of luck in all of your endeavors. And never forget, we are CC. Thank you.
Reese Long, son of Heath and Candy Long, is the president of the class of 2020. Beginning with the Ebensburg-Cambria High School class of 1930, each graduating class presents a link to the following class. This 90-year tradition will continue this evening, as class of 2020 president Reese Long will come to the stage to present the next link to class of 2021 president Hunter Springer.
Thank you, Mr. Santini. In Mr. Miller's room, there is a picture of the president of the class of 1957 passing on the 27th link in this chain. This chain has existed long before either of us, and it will exist long after. It is now my honor as the president of the class of 2020 to uphold this long-standing tradition. I present the 90th link to the president of the class of 2021, Hunter Springer. Good luck, and may you continue Central Cambria's legacy of excellence.
Thank you, Reese. The class of 2021 wishes the best for the class of 2020 on their future endeavors. This current situation proves that you will be able to overcome any challenges life gives you. Thank you and good luck.
Good evening. One member of the class of 2020 has made a commitment to serve their country by signing on to join one of the branches of the United States military upon their graduation from Central Cambria High School. This individual is distinguished by the sash provided by his recruiter. At this time, I would like to announce Jacob Albright has signed on to join the United States Air Force. Congratulations. Welcome to the Brotherhood. Thank you.
At this time, class of 2020 member and PMEA All-State vocalist Aiden Stifler will perform the class song, Life is a Highway.
Life's like a road that you travel on. It's one day here and the next day gone. Sometimes you bend, sometimes you stand, sometimes you turn your back to the wind. There's a world outside every darkened door. The blues won't haunt you anymore. With a brave heart free and lover's soar, come riding me to a distant shore. We won't hesitate, take down the garden gate. There's not much time left today, yeah. Life is a highway, I wanna ride all night long. If you're going my way, I wanna drive all night long. Through all these cities and all these towns, it's in my blood and it's all around. I love you now like I loved you then. This is the road and these hands are in. Mozambique to the Memphis lines, the Chicago Pass to Vancouver's lights. Knock you down and back up again. You're in my blood, I'm a lonely man. There's no Lord I can hold. The road's so rough, this I know. I'll be there when the light comes in. Tell them we're survivors. Life is a highway, I wanna ride all night long. If you're going my way, I wanna drive all night long. misunderstanding once, but now look in the eye. Ain't no road I can't hold, a road so rough, this I know. I'll be there when the light comes in, tell them we're survivors. Life is a highway, I wanna ride it all night long. If you're going my way, I wanna drive it all night long. Yeah, life is a highway, I wanna ride it all night long. And if you're going my way, I wanna drive it all night long. Oh
yeah. In a few short moments, your parents, friends, and family gathered here will watch the video of you walking across the stage to receive your diploma, signifying the end of your beginning, a culmination of 13 years of work, and an opportunity to turn the page to the next chapter of your life. As has been well documented in some of the other speeches, this class is unique. As 8th graders, coming out of the end of 8th grade, we weren't quite sure where some of you would end up. I had a front row seat to that when you were at the middle school. To see where you were then and where you are now is nothing short of impressive. The class of 2020 proves that what matters in life is not where you start, but where you finish. It is a story of perseverance, redemption, and triumph. This class is the first since 1986 to send multiple students to an Ivy League college, which is a big deal. Central Cambria students were Seniors of the Year in 9 of the 14 career and technical programs at Admiral Peary VOTEC this year. This class won multiple LHAC and District 6 championships, including the first District 6 swimming team championship in school history. We had 15 students advance to PMEA Regional Chorus, a number that is unheard of compared to schools our size. My point is that this is not anywhere close to the worst class in Central Cambria history. By any objective measure, it's among the best. If we were doing a draft to select an all-star team from Central Cambria classes since 1973, I would want it to have some really smart kids who also work very hard, like Alex Gibson, Reese Long, Sarah Evans, Sam Swope, and many others. I'd want some kids who get it done in the classroom while working hard in the skilled trades, like Parker Geese and Dylan Devlin. I'd want a determined, headstrong kid like Jacob Albright to go on and defend our country in the Air Force. I'd want Dylan Fedorko and Logan Prokop to keep things interesting. I'd want a 16 varsity letter athlete like Cassidy Bezeq and a singer like Aaron Kaplia. I'd want someone who is kind and patient when a little 5-year-old girl insists on sitting with her in the pit at basketball games, so I'd pick Jules Casper. I'd want someone brave enough to ask a U.S. congressman a tough question in front of a packed auditorium, so I'd pick a hard worker like T.J. Byer. When you put all 133 graduates in the class of 2020, it's an excellent group that is going to go on and do great things and carry on the tradition of excellence established by the previous 89 graduating classes of Ebensburg, Cambria, and Central Cambria High School. It was great to have a front row seat to witness the joy, happiness, and relief that you and your families displayed as you became official graduates of Central Cambria High School during our diploma presentations in the auditorium. Due to restrictions beyond our control, you were forced to spend some last precious moments of your senior year with your family members before you leave the nest and fly off to new adventures, new challenges, new pursuits, and new achievements. While this has been a stressful and challenging time for many, I have a feeling that your parents cherish the opportunity to have those moments with you before you move on to the next phase of life. I hope canceled sporting events led to more family gatherings around the dinner table. I hope the inability to rehearse at school allowed your parents to enjoy your musical talents at home. And I hope that the elimination of the rat race of life, if only for a few short weeks, gave you a new appreciation for the people closest to you. I'll end with a quote from John F. Kennedy, given in a commencement address at American University in 1963. In the final analysis, our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this small planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's future, and we are all mortal. Enduring words from 57 years ago that ring true in the times we find ourselves in today. I commend the class of 2020 for persevering, for growing, for improving, and for handling these past couple of months with grace and class. I wish you all the luck in the world. Now, as the principal of Central Cambria High School, it is my honor to present the class of 2020. The graduates before you have met the requirements of the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the Central Cambria School District. Diplomas will now be conferred onto these students.
Autumn Renee Kohler. Nathan James Nadolski. Samuel Ronald Pilcher. Alex Paul Gibson. Hannah Marie Caruso. Brian Scott Walrow. Aaron Joseph Caplia. Ashley Anna Adams. Eden Marie Leitner. Tanya Marie Strasbach. Serena K. Cross. Eugene Amelia Figuarelli IV. Madison Elizabeth Stockville. Hannah Lynn Lake. Stephen Timothy Briskus. Sebastian James Brown. Charles Oleg Bellish. Mackenzie Ray Bethel. Jude Patrick Caroff. Brett Morgan Sikora. Dale Schaefer Sheehan. Seth Robert Farwell. Chase Adam Vorberger. Nicholas Thomas Frischkorn. Hunter Bruce Miller. Isaac Dominic Haseback. Lauren Elizabeth Keeper. Scott Connor Grubenhofer. Jonathan William Bergala. Malin Elizabeth Schill. Emily Catherine Piper. Everett Eugene Fryer. Maggie Grace Bowen. Zachary Hunter Brandis. Nicholas Brothers. Abigail Ruth Ruffner. Kelsey Renee Evans. Parker John Geese. Kenneth Richard Vickis IV. Christopher Charles Jones Jr. Daniel Stephen Laser. Taylor Nicole Pritz. Dylan Michael Long. Lance Justin Marshall. Logan David Prokop. Bryn Helena Tibbet. Kylie Marie Burkett.
Caitlin Rose Rummel. Hannah Marie Householder. Emily Lee Cullen. William Eugene Ellis III. On this day in history, Isaiah Dane Vivian received his Central Cambria High School diploma. Nathan Robert Kuntz. Alexandra Adia Boyles. Jaylee Elizabeth Sikora. Morgan Margaret Melnick. Caleb Michael Burkett. Isaac Paul Lavich. Lawrence Michael Ruder. Evan Thomas Brown. Danielle Ashley Hartsock. Sarah Marie Patrick. Julianne Genevieve Casper. Ian Francis McMullen. Alec Matthew Gabrielson. Samuel Arthur William Swope. Ty Hunt Snyder. Griffin Michael Chappell. Thomas Furman Byer Jr. Corey Matthew Jones. Braden Quinn Astalis. Ty Clayton Martin. Emily Paige Sherry. Kirsten Nicole Sapala. Jacob Scott Kopko. Jacob Dean Albright. Emily Ruth Albright. Cassidy Renee Bezeq. Faith Danielle Hoffman. Maggie Marie Kadlowik. Elizabeth Rose Bach. Tanner James Macoff. Zachary Thomas Millay. Samantha Nicole Arcangelo. Isabella Ann Sheehan. Abigail Elizabeth O'Brien. Sarah Elizabeth Evans.
Emma May Tobolski. Austin G. Baker. Sterling Grant LaRue. Jacob Tyler Izzo. Joseph Monty Gergen. Julia May Mobley. Troy Allen Shope. Shaylin Laura Ott. Jersey Ray Hagan. Dylan William Bloom. Dylan James Devlin. Christina Nicole Hildebrand. Reese Gerard Long. Michael Christopher McCloskey. Hannah Alexis Penrod. Adam John Saka. Jenna Lynn Sobecki. Mackenzie Lane Yarnell. Garrett Paul Dishon. Kaylin Elizabeth Cuppet. Rachel Renee Holtz. Ryan James Hunt. Emma Renee Ratchford. Joseph Philip Cavalier. Mackenzie Rain Bonoma. Frank Robert Skibo. Levi Joseph Evans. Dylan Andrew Fedorko. Benjamin Edward Schweitzer. Clara Faith Myers. Matthew Elijah Gordon. Aiden John Stiflin. Nolan Dirk Johnson. Richard Matthew Mackey. Robert James Soika. Haley Marie Myers. Jocelyn McKenna Weiser.
Nate Marie Polakowski.
Carter Joseph Seymour. Brandon Stephen Beecher. Benjamin David Young.
Richie Lynn Plummer.
Members of the class of 2020, please move the tassel from the right to the left side of your graduation cap. This signifies your status as a graduate of Central Cambria High School as of this commencement ceremony held on June 9th, 2020. Graduates and guests, please rise and sing along as the pep band performs the Central Cambria High School alma mater, written by John Mason. Thank you for attending the Central Cambria High School Class of 2020 Commencement Event. Thank you to the ownership of the Carrolltown Hi-Way Drive-In Theater for hosting us tonight. Thank you to all of the helpers and volunteers who helped put this event together. This concludes this evening's ceremony. Please drive slowly and safely as you exit the facility tonight.